Alright, welcome back, friends and fiends. We're jumping in. We're going to do a little bit, something different. We're going to do a little test drive for Legend in the Mist. This came up when we were looking at the stuff that was coming out for free RPG Day, which is today, by the way. Go run out to your, or at least while I'm streaming this, stop watching me and run out to your friendly local game store and see if you can pick up some stuff, because I have already done that. I also bought some things too. As usual, like to support the old FLGS whenever you get the opportunity to. I guess I should talk a little bit about that experience before we go ahead and jump in. So, I went to two different game stores. One is probably the regular game store I go to the most, and the other was a new place that I had never been to, a little out of the way. And I went there, and walked in, and I was like, oh, where's the free RPG Day stuff? They're like, oh, what they decided to do is that they are going to run tables of stuff. So they, from the moment the store opened all the way till closing time, that they were running demo games, essentially, throughout the day. And the only way to get any of their free RPG Day stuff was to sign up for one of those games, which I think were free. At least the guy behind the counter didn't tell me there was a cost to, while he was asking me if I wanted to sign up. I was like, oh, it was one of those things where it's like, I wish I had known that ahead of time, because I would have been interested in perhaps doing that in the afternoon, coming in to see one of the games at play, as well as, meet some other people and see what's going down at the game store. Otherwise, the game store was really nice, but it is out of the way, so I don't know if I'll be going back to it very often. But I did pick up some stuff for it. In fact, one of the things that I did pick up, I'm not going to go through everything, but I did pick up these guys. These are the Genesis dice. If you are not familiar with them, I don't know how well you can see that. They have a bunch of different weird symbols on them that you use for rolling. You roll it like a dice pool. It's a dice pool system. It powers the Edge system, which is quite popular. Star Wars. There's 3 Star Wars RPGs: Edge of the Empire, Age of Rebellion, and Force and Factions, or something like that. So if you are into Star Wars, also the system's good. It's fun to play. And I was like, oh, well, I should get them just in case I ever want to play that system again. So, because my friend had the dice and I did not have the dice. So I was like, oh, go ahead and pick them up. But, yeah, and picked up some other stuff, but I wish that had been the case, so it was kind of a bust. And I went there first, which is not always fun. And then after that, I ran back over to my local shop, and they always do a big free RPG Day stuff, so they have like boxes and boxes of kits. So no worries about that. Though they were almost out of one of the things that I picked up, which is this guy right here. They have Root Quick Starts. Now the thing about this is that there's actually 3 different ones. I only got one of them. But you can also download them for free through DriveThruRPG, I think. Or maybe straight from their site. If you want to. But it's really neat. So it's the demo game and everything. But each one, there are 3 different adventures. This one is Teleniki Blade. So, and they were, when I got there, he was like, there's only 2 of these left. It's like, oh gosh, I guess I should grab one. I was surprised that they were popular. I'm assuming that people picked up like all 3, probably thinking that you needed all 3 or because they were all 3 different. But nope, they're all the same thing. It's just there's a different adventure in each one, which is a cool idea. I really like that. As well as I'll go through all this stuff, and we'll probably talk about this either next Saturday or the Saturday after. Might be doing the solo RPG. But now we'll get back to the point. We're going to do the Legend in the Mist. So I did download the... Let me pull up, because I haven't pulled this up. Go ahead and pull. Oop. So I did pull up... I went to the site, and I got this one first. You can just sign up with your email, and they'll let you download either one of these. But this is the one that I came across first, and I was like, oh, this is the demo game, and I was like, oh, that must be the thing I'm looking for. This is actually not the thing that I'm looking for. This is the thing that I already have. This is this guy, and we talked about this last year at the free RPG Day offering that they had. It's a shadow in the barley, but this is for 4 players. Who I was like, I could try to do it, but I really don't want to GM and try to play 4 players in a system I'm not familiar with. Like, it's going to be a lot of. I don't think that's going to make for very entertaining content or authoritative content, because I don't know what I'm talking about. This is my first time playing the game. So I thought that I had misread it, and I was like, oh, I guess that's not what this is. But no, there is indeed a learn to play comic. So it's a learn to play comic book adventure. So that is what we're going to do today. One criticism I just kind of have off the bat, sorry, on the Vogue, is that I don't like being forced into the book spreads. It doesn't make it easy to zoom in. Like, I can do that in my PDF viewer if I want to, but I prefer to be able to look at it one page at a time. So we're going to zoom in quite a bit. We're also going to need to. I can close this. We don't need this. I need to zoom in on this one. Sorry about that. Here we go. So, what we got. Rustic fantasy RPG. This is a very narrative, evocative kind of game. So, you'll have to stick with me because I'm going to be muddling through this and we're going to do it together. How about that? And I think we should go ahead and do Millhaven. That sounds right. Let's do that. Seems like the good kind of vibe, music-wise, or ambiance goes with it. All right. I like these kind of RPGs, Obojimas, also in this. It's almost like a cozy fantasy, a little bit. Though obviously there is like action as well. Start off. We're gonna get the spread. And into forested hills, mountain. Centuries passed by, the world grew cold. Folk got by, their hearts are growing ever more suspicious under the threat of the shadows in the night. Alright, well, I like that. Legend. Alright, I don't know. So I don't know anything about this. We're looking at this. You're seeing it for the first time. I'm seeing it for the first time. Well, maybe you've seen it. I'm looking at it for the first time. So I don't know if this person down here is going to be our character or not. Yeah, looks like a nice little rustic town and a little boreal kind of valley. Or maybe this is our character. Oh, this is our character. That's who's on the cover. This is our character. This is not our character. Garen is a spirited youth, skilled with a bow, and a talented deer stalker. But more than all, he is devoted. Family. Alright. So I do know from looking at the demo game last year when I was looking around at it, and I've looked at it a few times since then, is that these are like tags, aspects, these things, part that is highlighted in yellow. Those are the kind of, very similar to things like Fate do, where you get aspects and you kind of like tie into those aspects, and they use those aspects instead of, like, you don't have like a strength score or anything like that. So we have the hero. In this tutorial story, you are Garen, the deer stalker. Your character is made out of tags, the short descriptions above highlighted in yellow. Yeah. To play, you will need 2 6-sided or Legend in the Mist dice, some pen and paper, or tracking cards and markers to track changes. So, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna open up my handy dandy notepad. I know you can't see what I'm doing. It's a notepad. Just so we can track that stuff. Have it down in front. We're gonna need that, and then we're also gonna need some DJs. Need 2d6. I'll use the Google Dice Roller. No, I don't want to roll yet. I want it to be a surprise. Yeah. Okay. I think this will. I believe. We'll do ahead, and I changed, so go ahead and go full screen. Okay, so I changed this format because I know people were struggling seeing the bottom of the screens. My head was in the way. So I've moved this to the middle where it's not as in the way, I think. But I can always change it to whatever. I'll try to keep an eye on it, make sure I'm not covering up anything too important. All right, so we've got our dice, and we've got our pen and paper, our that application down here. You can pull up some of that. All right, Garen wasted no time rushing back to his family's cabin. Here they come, called the Wise One. What happened? Ops. All right. So. Like maybe we have a younger sibling here and a mother. Your mother, she's very ill. She was coming. Okay, so this is not our mother. She's very ill. She was coming home from the village and she had the misfortune of coming across something unnatural, which left its poison mark on her. There's a remedy to this witching poison that I've come across many years ago, but the chief ingredient, very hard to come. Oh, alright. So classic, gotta get the ingredient to make the remedy. Very, very classic adventure setup. Very, very classic. Love it. I also like adventures like this where it's not only kind of combat is the goal, where it's like usually the threat or the thing that you're dealing with can't be just straight up killed out of. You can't kill your way out of it. I like that. And I think for a game like Legend in the Mist, at least the little bit that I know of it, that seems very core to it. The story begins with some exposition from the narrator. Hey, that's me. Which poses a quest, something at stake that propels the hero to undertake a journey. While the player, you, but also me, plays the hero, the narrator plays all non-hero or non-player characters. So narrators is their term in Legend of the Mist, but a game master or dungeon master or storyteller or referee or judge. So these non-player characters, NPCs, these can be heroes, allies, mentors, enemies, rivals, or passers-by. Anyone who might feature in the... I mean, we're getting some pretty basic... This is what a TTRPG is, and here's what this stuff is. Alright, so we got, under our personality theme card, we have Spirited Youth, Untapped Fierceness, Inner Compass, Hard-Headed. Quest, never surrender to darkness or despair. Interesting thing about how the system works, as far as I know, is that as you play, you have these cards, and as you, I think, mark progress on those cards, on those tags, you will end up replacing the card and making a new one. So which is kind of a cool concept where it shows this change and growth of your character as they go through I like it. Our circumstance: we are a deer stalker. Stealthy step, keen senses, loner. Skill or trade: skilled with a bow, father's yew bow, rapid second arrow, close combat. Devotion: devoted to family, good listener, tough it out. Family is my soft spot. Quest under this one is find a cure for my mother's illness. Backpack, protective charm. Yeah, so the backpack is very similar to where you have like a list of things that you can drop in there. And it's really, I'm trying to think what's in the missed one, because it's very, very short. Like you're not really focusing on like everything a person could have. Like this character, Red Marshal, has a good sword, moving salve, forest-colored overcloak, old seeing glass, rope, whetstone, bread, eggs, and cheese. And bread, eggs, and cheese is all one line item. And that's their full backpack. So it's not everything. It's, you know, it's not as in-depth as something like D&D, where you might want a whole bunch of different types of gear and you need to have it all written down, or else you don't have it. It's a little looser and a little more focus on just the things that are kind of important to that character, but also rations are in. All right, so in our backpack, we're going to have a protective charm. We record your hero's details, themes, tags, and quests on a sheet of paper, a Legend in the Mist character sheet, or Legend in the Mist theme cards. During play, if you gain new tags, write them down in your backpack or on Legend in the Mist tracking card. All right, do we need to... we write these down? I feel like we can refer to this page. I think we'll be good with it. You're ready. Turn the page to embark on your fateful journey. All right, let's do it. All right, so it seems like we've kicked off and we're moving in. So scenes. A scene begins with a narrator who describes a specific place and happening. This is called establishing the scene. Narrator then asks the players, what do you do? Which prompts you to choose an action for your hero. Here you have some suggestions for actions, but in a real game, you can take any action you can come up with. All right, so we are on the Old Brook Bridge. Someone seems to be in us. So let's got a kind of a forest thing going on. Let's find something foresty. What's a good thing to have here? Long rest. Let's go with like forest day. That works for me. All right, here we go. So we've made our way down to the Old Brook Bridge, and we come across a scene where some other traveler is being accosted. Follow the bridge, though. We deserve payment. Let me pass. Hey, we keep this bridge in good repair. It's hard work. How dare you? You ruffians are not even from these parts. All right, so we got somebody trying to take somebody down here at the bridge. Again, another like classic RPG scene. You go on the bridge, there's always going to be trouble on the bridge. There's always trouble at the... Very similar to a reminiscent of the Robin Hood and Little John meeting. The highwayman taking over the bridge and charging a toll for it for anyone who tries to pass it. All right, what do? We got a few different things. We can observe from a safe distance. You can slip into the forest and sneak closer unnoticed. You can march over and speak to them. All right, well, I don't think we're going to march over there and speak to them, at least from what I'm looking at. It looks like there's maybe three ne'er-do-wells here. So I think even if it's a 3-on-2 fight, not great odds in our favor. So I don't think marching's going to be over there. We can observe from a safe distance where we are right now and just see what happens. But if there is trouble, we can't do anything about it. We're definitely, I think, looking at this comic, I feel like we're, same thing I'm looking at. I think we're in pretty good bow range for shooting. There's also not a ton of cover in front of us, though. But I still think maybe I can get a look at, because at this point I don't even know if it's a stranger or maybe it's somebody I know who's in trouble. So let's try to slip into the forest and sneak closer, I think. Right. A new round begins. With your action and its consequences resolved, the narrator describes the scene again, reestablishing what's going on, and then starts with a new turn of the establishing action consequences cycle, which repeats throughout the scene. The narrator's going to say something, or the game master's going to say something. Ask the players, what do your characters do? You choose what you're going to do. You roll some dice. Maybe you pass, maybe you fail. There's consequences to whatever that action is. Sometimes consequences are good. And then the GM will reiterate that, reestablish what it is, and back to the point where it's time for you to make another decision about what's going on. When the narrator establishes that something suspicious or dangerous is happening, it's called a threat. That's a mechanical thing. A threat can later manifest into consequences, so use your actions wisely to avoid or address threats. The ruffians raise their clubs over the peddler's head. Things are looking dire. Enough niceties. Get off! Alright, so this is the person we saw earlier. Give us your valuables, peddler. Or we'll take them ourselves. Alright, so we get some tough looking folk here. So is this the jump in action? I just want to make sure that we're doing this the right way. Okay. No matter what we did, it said go to the next page, right? There's a little bit of a choose your own adventure kind of style. Yes. And turn the page to discover the outcome. Okay, so it doesn't matter. This is where we got to. You there, get up. Let's show them what we're made of. I rally the peddler to help me fight off the bandits. Or I guess we could try to talk them out of it. One of the two. Either one. No, it looks like 23 goes to 24. All right. Okay. What could help? Each helpful tag gives you a +1 power. Aaron is a spirited youth with an untapped fierceness that suddenly overtakes him. There's 2 tags, so a power of 2. Aaron feels a pang of remorse for not helping earlier. You could make him more eager to help now. Add 1 more to your power. Yeah, we didn't immediately jump in. So I'd say that. What could hinder? Each hindering tag reduces your power by 1. Is Garen in a good hiding spot? Ooh, convincing. I did find a good hiding spot. I didn't move up closer. So we are going to reduce that by 1. Not very convincing to rally the troops with your rallying cry from the back. Lead from the back and not from the front, and not putting yourself in any danger. That's true. All right, so we have a power of 2. So we're going to roll 2 dice and add your power. So 2d6 plus 2. Our first roll. Let's see how this is going to go. 1, 2. Go. Here we go. Oop. And it's a 1 and a 6. All right. Perfectly average. 7 is what we're going to get most of the time. 7 plus 2 is 9. So, we do not get 10 plus. The peddler jumps to her feet, fists up, ready to fight. You've recruited the peddler, so you gain the tag peddler. And 9 through 7, we apply both consequences, essentially. So we're going to get the good stuff, but we also got to take the bad stuff with us. But if we had rolled 6 or fewer, which would have been just kind of a stock failure, which is all right. We've got some bonuses, so it's actually pretty... We'd have to roll, what, a 4? Certainly can happen, but we should be pretty safe in that. We're going to hit most of the time any 2d6 system like this, whether it's Dungeon World or Powered by the Apocalypse or Ironsworn works similarly. Any of those kind of games, the middle, usually what you're going to get is good things happen, but also there's some consequence. And you really have to roll that 10 or better. Most of the systems work like that. For 10 or better is like success. Just straight up success. And it's pretty hard to come by unless you're in the right situation and you have the right stuff. And you get a good roll. So if we had not been in the hiding spot, we would have had a power of 3 and we would have hit that 10 plus. But because we were in the hiding spot, we're only getting a 9. Alright, so the peddler's in our corner now. And the bandits turn to face you. Now they're angry. Consequences often include tags that can be bad for your hero and good for your opponents. Keep track of the bandits' tags separately from you. Okay, so we got plus peddler. And we've got... we're going to put the bandits down here, and they have angry. Now, hero's name is Garen. We have the peddler tag. Nice. But apparently we also have good hiding spot. It almost makes me feel like I'm missing a page. Am I missing a page? Come on. Oop, not that. Oh, I think I did. Ah! Well, there we go. All right. The spreads. Okay. All right. Yes. Still, we missed some things. That's okay. That's my fault. I thought that it was rearranging the things, but it was not. That's fine. So we've missed a little bit. I have screwed up. We should probably just start over again. Apparently I've missed quite a bit. All right. So we got everything up to here. And we've got this. Can we... A little bit larger? Fill the space. There we go. There we go. In this faraway land of forested mountains and brook-strewn valleys. Brook-strewn valleys. I like that. There lives... with his family, a young deerstalker named Garen. And we already know Garen. Content warning. This tutorial features potential loss of a loved one and some battleground violence. Okay. On this fateful day, Garen is out hunting. That stag almost looks like Stag almost looks like a goat. It's very funny. Wrong. Garen, come to the house. What are you doing up here, Chippy? What happened? Something wrong with Mother. Themes and tags. The hero's 4 main tags have other tags attached to them, providing more details together. So you have the theme, and then you have the little things under it, like details. Yeah. Power tags, except for the last tag in each theme, which is a weakness tag, highlighted in orange rather than yellow. Garen's tag: Spirited, Untapped Fierceness, Inner Compass, Hard-Headed, Deerstalker, Stealthy Step, Keen Senses, Loner. Yeah, so Loner... Okay. You know what? I should probably write these down. So this is basically our character sheet. We have Spirited Youth. Under that we have Untapped Fierceness. Inner Compass. But also Hard-Headed. Deerstalker. The Stealthy Step. Keen Senses. But also Loner. We have Skilled with a Bow. Gonna give us Father's Youth. Rapid Second Arrow. And the weakness, close combat. We're not good in a scrap. We're better with our bow. So we want to keep danger far away from us. Oh, that's good. And we are devoted to family. Means we have good listener. Tough it out. And family is my soft spot. All right, perfect. So we read this one. It was like, oh, we need the thing. An herb called rime thistle that can only be found on the north slopes of the mountains above the tree line. Its flower, ball-shaped, is in beautiful shade of azure. You're a huntsman, Garen. Perhaps you could find it. Yes, anything, I'll find it, but I wish to see her first. Mother, stay strong. I will return with the cure. I'll be blunt, Garen. I don't know if she can last the day. Be back before sunset. And take this charm. If the thing that did this is still out there, they may offer some defense against its evil. That was our... We have our backpack, right? We have protective charm. Each theme also has a quest, one of your hero's goals. In this example, you will use only 2 of your 4 quests. Never surrender to the darkness or despair. Surrender. Never surrender. Darkness. Despair. Not respair. And devoted family have find a cure for mother's illness. Perfect. And so, with a heavy heart and a sense of urgency, Garen sets out to find the rime thistle that could cure his mother. Alright. Let's go, Garen. And we hit back to the Old Brook Bridge. What did we do? We said that we were going to slip in the forest and sneak closer. Known, but not safe. With silent determination, he walks through the parts of the forest well known to him. Known, but not safe. So we already know that this is going to be a difficult place. Actions and outcomes. Each hero action has a consequence. Success, negative consequences, or both. After you describe your action, the narrator chooses one of 3 ways to arrive at the outcome: simple, quick, or detailed. With a simple outcome shown here, the narrator simply tells you what happened based on the scenario, your hero's tags, and the details of the characters involved. The narrator can also give you new tags, good or bad, as a success or a consequence. The method is used to keep the story going without using dice. Okay. So I decided to go, I slip into the forest and sneak closer. Apparently we got very close. A deerstalker or of stealthy step, you have no difficulty creeping up closer, unnoticed, and you settle in a good hiding spot. So do I need to roll? However, while you sneak, the hooded figure's bandits no doubt set the traveler, a peddler, and threaten her to rent her goods. Okay, so we get a good hiding spot. We pick that up. We already got down. So we'll put these as like C tags, I guess. Pick up. All right. We got a good hiding spot. You see this thing happen. What do? We can rally to the peddler to help fight off the bandits. I mean, yeah, they're gonna take the stuff from him. I rush to the rescue, standing between the bandits and the peddler. Probably not that. I think I'll go with I let fly a warning shot to scare them away. I think that's gonna be our best bet. We really don't want to get up close. We have a good vantage point. Anything that'll they might not know how many of us there are. Maybe they'll run off. We go to page 23. 21, 22, 23 over here on right. Oh, that's a hell of a warning shot. We're gonna just shoot right next to their face. Rip through their hood. Get away, you lot, or my next arrow won't miss. All right. Well, we're definitely going with the hard-headed kid aspect. Leaning hard into that. I let fly a warning shot to scare them away. Power. What could help? Each helpful tag gives you +1 power. Spirited Youth, Untapped Fierceness, Skilled with a Bow, Father's U-Bow. That's 4 helpful tags, so a power of 4. So I think we'll just use... we can reroll. That's fine. I was going to say we'll just use the early one. I mean, we rolled perfectly average, so it doesn't really matter. So we have Spirited Youth, we have Untapped Fierceness, Skilled with a Bow, and Father's U-Bow, so that gives us 4. If we're shooting out of a good hiding spot, that gives us 5. Each hindering tag reduces your power by 1. Let you know that these bandits are hardened. Okay, so we should add that. So we're going to take the way they're hardened, but they're not angry at this point. And technically we don't have the peddler yet. Okay. So I believe that we reduce it by 1, so we still roll in 4. We roll 2 dice. And best. Let's roll. Come on, big money. 8. Ooh, nice. 9, 10, 11, 12. That puts us at 10 plus. That gets us just total success. No negative consequences, just positive consequences, which is great. So, on a 10 plus. Startled by your arrow, one of the bandits lets out a cry of terror and flees down the hill. Sometimes a success steers the story your way. Having to deal with fewer bandits will make things easier later. Good to know. So we're going to be seeing some of these guys later, it seems like. So they lost 1. So now we're going a 2-on-2 fight, which is a much more reasonable fight. Continue on page 24. The bandits advance towards you, ready to tackle you down and dish out a beating. Oh, I guess there's 3 of them? Oh, yeah. Okay. I was looking at this picture up here, and I'm like, oh, I thought one of these people was a peddler. But nope. Okay, so 3 on 2. Still more manageable. Not great, though. Get them and grab any good stuff they have. Yeah, we didn't come all the way up the mountain for nothing. All right. Well, okay. So we've got a few things we can do. I can try to talk him out of it. I'm getting the idea that Garen's not much of a talky kind of character. We don't really have a ton of stuff with us that does that. We're spirited. We have that untapped fierceness. That's about it. So not one of our strong suits. It's us or them. I shoot in order to wound. Alright, I'm not necessarily trying to kill these people. I mean, I don't think Garen is a hardened person, or else we wouldn't have done a warning shot to begin with. So I try to shoot arrows to pin or hobble them so we can flee. I think that's... Again, we're still outnumbered, so we don't really want to get in a fight. We know that close combat's not a thing that we want to do, and they're going to close on us very quickly. A new round begins, and the narrator describes the scene again. In this high-stakes conflict, your actions will be resolved in the detailed way. Count your power and roll the dice, the same as with quick outcome. If you succeed, you'll be able to spend your power on various effects, adding or removing tags from yourself and other characters. Statuses. The most common effect is giving a status. A status is a special tag that has a tier number from 1 to 6, measuring its intensity. A status always describes a temporary condition, never an item or a thing. It is marked with a green highlight. Creating a status costs 1 power per 1 tier. In other words, the tier of the status you will give the bandits is the same as the power of your action. Okay. You add to your power the tier of your most helpful status in the situation and subtract the tier of the most hindering status. Statuses are recorded on tracking cards like this. I have some of those, but we'll write them down in our notepad. Tags you gain during the story expire when they are no longer true or make sense. Scratch out good hiding spot or pang of remorse if you had them. Good hiding spot is gone. All right, so we are going to go to page 26. One down here. I try to shoot to pin or hobble them so we can flee. What could help? Skilled with bow, Father's U bow. Rapid second shot if you already made the shot before. Yep, sure did. If bandits are already hobbling, they are easier to hit. I don't think we haven't hobbled them. What could hinder? Close combat. Garen's bow is not ideal for shooting in very close opponents. If Garen is stunned, it makes it harder for him to fall. So we have 3, but we're going to -1 because they are moving into. I think they are moving into close combat with us. So we need to roll an 8 or better. Unlikely to happen. Well, I mean, not impossible. But remember, 7's generally what we're going to roll most of the time. Ooh, and we rolled not well. 3 + 2, that's 5. That's just a straight up failure, unfortunately. We didn't breach it. Didn't breach into the middle. The bandits rush you and strike you with their clubs. Consequences can involve taking a negative status. In this case, the bandits give you stunned 2. Ouch. We are stunned. That's not good for us. And we continue to page 28. It goes very not well for us. Alright, we take a status. Ouch, your hero is taking a negative status. Luckily, when your hero suffers some consequences, the narrator may allow you to take a reaction to lessen the harm. Let's try this now with the status you just... Yes, please. Please. Garen just clearly got bonked on the head. You now roll a reaction. Count your power and roll the dice. If you succeed, you spend power to reduce the negative effects. Every point of power you rolled with reduces the tier of the status by 1. If you roll 10 plus, you get 1 extra point of power, which to lessen the status. If you get 6 or less, you take the status as it is without any further consequence. When a status supports an action, add its tier to the action's power. When a status hinders an action, subtract its tier from the action's power. But only the highest positive status and the highest negative status are counted. Okay, so there's no... can't like death spiral, essentially. Alas, the brutish bandits get the better of Garen. What could help here for our power roll? Tough it out. We can endure a little pain. So we get 1. Just a single plus. And let's roll. Let's see if we can do it. Right. What we really want to do is roll a 9 or a 10. 9 or better. We roll perfectly average. 7. So 7 plus 1 is 8. If you get a 7 or higher, you'll spend your power to lessen the income. So we went from 1. We take the hit, but we endure the pain. So we take, instead of stunned 2, we are going to be stunned 1. Alright, continue on to the next page. Alright. Will Garen gain the upper hand? Overcoming a challenge. A group of bandits is a single challenge, something that stands in your way and must be overcome through actions. Heroes of many challenges have a limit of how much they can take of a certain status, a number between 1 and 6 when they receive the bad stuff we looked at earlier. Heroes are overcome at tier 5. If Garen takes the stunned 5 status, for example, he passes out and cannot continue. Fight. If he takes convinced 5, he stops arguing and aligns himself with whoever convinced him. Limits are highlighted in red. Okay. Unfortunately, we missed our shots earlier. So, hobble 4, wound 4, convince 3. Heroes don't always know a challenge's limits. Sometimes action must be taken to discover what they are. If you manage to give them any of these statuses at these tiers or higher, you overcome them. If you overcame the bandits, continue to page 30. So, if neither side has won yet, continue taking actions until a limit is reached. Return to page 24. Alright, so we're going to go back to 24. So, we can try to talk it out and then we can shoot. Now they've already struck me, so I think we just shoot to shoot. They've come in close, and so we're going to go to page 27. We're going to do that. So, what's going to help us here? We've got 1, 2, 3, 4. We still get to use rapid second shot. We've already made a shot before. I think. I assume that we get to keep using that. So if we've shot, we already get to shoot again. Bandits are hardened and can take a cut or 2. If Garen is stunned, it makes it harder for him to shoot. Correct. Alright, so they are hardened, so we get a -1 from that. We are stunned 1, so -2. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4. -2, so we get +2. Roll. Alright, if they are hobbling, they're easier to hit. Well, unfortunately, we missed our hobbling shot, and now we're just kind of having to go for blood. I think we're in the fight portion. Alright. Did not roll well. 5, 6, 7. So we're gonna get everything. So we're gonna apply both the plus and the minus here. So your arrows fly true and you injure the bandits. You give the bandits a wounded status with a power equal to the power you rolled with, which is 2. So they get wounded 2. And we're gonna get another stunned 2. So I guess the stun keeps... No, because it said it doesn't matter. So you just take whichever one is higher. So stun 2. But they are now wounded 2. Now, as far as I know, these guys I don't want you to. Thank you. These guys don't get that same reaction roll. So we're going to do the reaction roll on page 28. All right, so we got Tough It Out. And I assume that we don't have to add the negative of the stun. Yeah, because that's what we're doing. All right, so we get to add 1. Hopefully we can roll pretty well. Big money, no whammies. 9 plus 1 is 10. Great, we actually get to reduce 2. So that status will fully go away. So we removed that 2 status. So I guess the stun status goes fully away. So we're not stunned. This part's a little bit tricky. I wish there was a little bit more info in this about how that works. Because if I already had the existing stun, does that count as a negative power? I don't know. I don't think so because we're rolling for that thing. And if I clear the 2, does that mean I clear all of it? I think so as well. So I think that we fully lose the stun condition, which is great for us. That is very nice. All right, so. Oh, wait. Here we go. It's over here on the right. I should have continued reading the page. Continue stacking statuses. Usually one action isn't enough to overcome the tide. So they stack 4 on the same card. Okay, so we had 1. The 1 will remain, but we're removing 2. So we're still stunned 1. Okay, gotcha. Okay, so we're still stunned. Yeah, so we're still stunned 1. Okay, I think I get it now. We're still stunned 1, but we didn't take the stun 2, which is nice. And I assume if it's already mark the next empty box to the right. Yeah, it escalates. Great. Okay. So I think we're going to make another shot to wound. So same thing here. We get our +4. Bandits are not hobbled. But so we do get the -1 from stun and the -1 from them being hardened. So we still get the +2. So we need to roll well. Come on. 6, 7, 8. Nope, same thing. All right, so they are wounded 2, and now they're going to be wounded 3. Okay, I'm starting to get the system now. All right. It feels like, and they can take up to wounded 4, and that's their limit. Like their thing. So they have where's their limit? Karen is stunned 5. Right now we're in the lead, so we're doing a good job. We're keeping it together. I like it. As you can see, the way that this game is set up is like a lot of other games that have become more popular, I'd say probably in the last 10 years, so maybe 15. Is that it's a system where the GM, our narrator or game master, isn't actually rolling any dice. Only the players are rolling dice. Which is good and bad. It kind of depends on how you are as a game master, whether you like that aspect or you don't like that aspect. It sucks if you have a game master or dungeon master who has hot dice and they're just critting you like crazy. These systems, you don't have to worry about that. But it also means, like, if you're having a sort of day where you're not rolling well, it's going to be a long day. It's going to be a long day, and you might very well die from it. Because it only comes down to your rolls. And some game masters don't like that. I kind of am in that camp where it's like, I kind of want to roll dice too. Rolling dice is fun. So, but I like this system so far. Let's keep going. All right, so basically it's just rinse and repeat. So what we're doing is we're getting our +2, roll. Because we still, our stun is still in the same spot, and harden's still in the same spot. None of this has changed, so basically we're just making the same roll over again. Until we get to Wounded 4 or Stun 5. 7, 8, 9. Okay, so we're going to take another stun. They're going to take more wounds. Oh, I didn't roll for my reaction, did I? I did not. I did not. Alright, so we'll do that. Which we rolled well enough that they are going to get Wounded 4, and that will be their limit. So, on this side, I need to make my stun roll. So we get a +1 to this roll. Nice! Which means that we wouldn't take any of the previous stun. Now we roll again for this time. 7, 8. So we are going to take the stun 1, which we already had, but that, because that stun 1 spot is full, we go up to stun 2. Which is not good for us. Thank goodness that we have made them hit their limit, because we're going to death spiral really quickly there. So this is definitely a death spiral game. If you're not familiar with the term death spiral, it means like the more, once things start going bad for you, the more bad they tend to go for you. So we will continue to get stuns because most of the time we're going to take the consequence, take this consequence while we're also dealing damage. But every time that we get stunned, it makes it harder for us to be successful. So we fail more. We fill up more stun. So we do hit their limit though. Because we hit wound 4. Bandits challenge is following limits. If you made one of them run away with a warning shot. Oh, reduce all these limits by 1. I'm sad, and we did do that. So actually, we wouldn't have gotten that stun. So we're down. We are at stun 1. And these guys would have been wounded 3. I get it. There's 4. There were 4 of them. Got it. So essentially, each wound would be like one of them being taken care of in this circumstance. So apparently, they would be easier to convince. But it means that we overcame them. Which means we're going to move on to page 30. You're on the left. All right. Victory, the bandits were wounded. Compromise, the bandits were convinced. Flight, the bandits were hobbled. Defeat, Garen was stunned. All right. So we wounded the bandits because I tried to hobble them so we could run away, and I didn't do a very good job. We had a real crap roll right out the gate. So the bandits flee before you, leaving a trail of blood behind. All right. So I've taken a few shots on them, and they're scurrying away. Excellent. As Garen dusts himself off and prepares to continue up the trail, the peddler stops him for a moment. Thank you for your help. I'm Erna from Underbow. Sorry you got dragged into this. It didn't used to be so dangerous on these back roads. Down a little bit. But lately things have been brewing in the lowlands. There's talk of war in the north, of ill-intending folk roaming around. Seems even the peace of the high mountains is now disturbed. Glad I could be of help, Erna. I'm Garen. I beg your pardon, but I don't have much time. I must climb the mountain to find an herb called rime thistle. I need it urgently for a remedy. Rime thistle. I know it. A blue flower, quite rare. It only grows in very cold places. I can help. It's the least I could do. I mean, I'm going to take your help. I can make small talk with the peddler. Ask the peddler if she has anything useful. I can ask the peddler to help treat my headache. I don't think I have headache. Oh, that's only if I'm defeated. Okay, so don't need to worry about that one. I'm not sure. It seems very rude to be like, do you have anything useful? If I had something useful, I would have used it. So instead, I'm just going to ask the peddler make small talk. We'll go to 32. That sounds right to me. Oh, and here's the wrapping up the scene. The scene ends when your hero overcomes the challenges or when they overcome the hero. Either way, it's time to move on with the story. At the end of the scene, some statuses expire and others remain at the narrator's discretion. If you have any stun status at the end of the scene, replace it with headache. Oh, replace it with headache 2. Okay, so then I would ask for help with my headache because I got to get rid of this negative consequence. Okay, so stunned 1 goes away and becomes headache 2. Which sucks. It means it got even worse. Somehow it's an even worse than my stun condition. If you've defeated it and robbed by the scratch out that stuff, scratch tags can't be used. Allies are tags too. If you haven't done so yet, add peddler to your backpack. So we're going to put them down here, peddler. Now we have them. Ah, there we go. All right. If you haven't done so, let's make it a temporary theme and also add the tags resourceful and oddball. And bag of curiosities. Okay, so they get their own little thing. We're gonna give them resourceful and bag of curiosity. Resourceful. The back of curiosity. Bag of curiosities. And oddball is, I think. Yeah, you would think as a peddler, this would not be a super uncommon thing to happen, like bandits being roused by bandits. You'd think that the peddler would have some way of, protecting themselves, but it doesn't appear that they do. All right, so we're going to ask for the headache gear then. Bring it down to 34. I asked the peddler to help treat my headache. Man, those hoodlums got you good. I'm no apothecary, but I ought to have something refreshing, blah, blah, blah. I've had a blah, just kind of digging through their bag. Take this and get them preppy. There we go. Finally. The peddler gives you a tonic. Ooh, we're going to make a roll. Recovery actions. You can take action to recover from negative conditions. This time, use a detailed outcome. If you are successful, you can spend your power to reduce a status. Each point of power spent reduces the status by 1 tier. The status is reduced to tier 0 or less. Remove it entirely. What could help? Tough it out and tonic. What could hinder? Nothing, really. So, this answers our question about, like, do you, when you're rolling for this, does the thing that you have also count as a negative to it? It does not, because it does not tell us to subtract 2 from the headache. So we get 2 dice, and we're gonna try to make a roll and see if the tonic works. So we really want 10 plus, really want an 8 or better, and we get it. Nice. The headache doesn't bother you as much. Reduce your headache status here by 1 for each power point you had. We had 2. If it reaches 0, which it does, it's going to remove entirely. So headache, gone. Dealt with. Love that. That was extremely important for us. I think a -2 to a lot of stuff would be, because headache could hinder most of our actions. Any thinking, any sort of like concentrating thing. And scratch out tonic. I didn't write it down because it was temporary. Well, actually, it doesn't say that we scratch out tonic. So I guess we just drink a little bit of it. So we still have tonic. All right, so I'm going to add that to our backpack. Add that to it. All right, so we've got a tonic. Because it doesn't say we give it back either. Though maybe we do. And after we take a hefty swig out of it. All right. Take a new action with the peddler on page 29 or continue to the next page. Yeah, I guess we probably make some small talk. With 32. I mean, we could try to go through all of them. And then ask, maybe once we chat them up a little bit, maybe then we'll, it makes sense that maybe we ask for if they have anything with them. All right, here we go. I make small talk with the peddler as we walk. So you're going to Barley Town. I've never been that far south. Never? You should go. They have great pastries. Actions that give positive statuses. You take an action to give yourself or your allies new positive statuses. This time, use a detailed outcome. If you are successful, you can spend your power to give us a status. Each tier costs 1 point of power, the same as before. What could help? Good listener and peddler. Nice, so we get a +2. But you're a loner and she's an oddball, so it's going to be awkward. So it's just a flat roll. Well, that's not good for us. Because we really want to get a 10 better. Hey, what's going on? Thanks for showing up. Yeah, we're playing, we're taking a look at Legend in the Mist. This is a... Okay. But we are playing, there's a free comic that's like a solo game that tells you how to play real quick. So I thought we'd try it out because I just stumbled across it when we were looking at stuff for free RPG day earlier this week. I figured we'd give it a test drive. I've read through this stuff, but I hadn't played it. So now we're playing it. That's what we're doing. We accosted some bandits that were accosting this peddler. Took care of them. All right, so it's just a straight roll. Don't get any bonuses. We're looking for a 10 or better. And we're not going to get it. In fact, since it's a flat roll, we didn't even get 6. We got 5. That's not good. That means we just get the bad side of the consequences. After a while, you both grow silent. Ernest's company suddenly reminds you of your mother, and you begin to fret. Take headache 1. You cannot lessen this consequence. This is what I get from talking to you. And it's telling us straight up that we cannot lessen this. I mean, can we take another swig of the tonic? It didn't say that we got rid of it. I'm going to say we can. Can't believe we got rid of headache and then we got it right back. So headache 1. Well, boop. All right. So we get a +2 on the roll. This is the 1. Because technically we still have the tonic. Because it didn't tell us to scratch it out. So we're gonna try to make a roll. Get +2 on it. Really want that 10 or better, but if we get even if we only get a 1, we only have headache 1 now, which is good. All right. Get to add 2, so we're looking for an 8 or better, ideally. And we get it. Love it. All right, so we got the 10 plus. So our headache is removed. We had just given back to ourselves. Now it's removed again. And we still don't strike the tonic because we got a 10 or better. Love it. So we still have the tonic. All right. I think we could ask them if they have something useful, but it doesn't sound like the small talk went really well. So I think we're going to not do that. So we're going to, instead of taking another action with the peddler, we're just going to continue to the next page. Time passes. Whatever you say, but I don't like this forest one bit. Oh, wait. As the pair emerge into a glade, Garen notices the sun high in the sky. It's getting late. I've no time to spare. Let's leave the trail and cut up through the forest to higher ground. Now we do have that inner compass, so we can. That's a little bit helpful for us. Whatever you say, but I don't like this forest one bit. We better keep our wits about us. Status tracking progress. The narrator made a new threat, the passage of time. From now on, when you take consequences as a result of an action or because you ignore this threat, the narrator may apply a time passes 1 status to indicate that you've wasted precious time. That's really cool. I really like that mechanic. Like, oh, here's the thing. And so anytime that any sort of roll that you would do, which is time is of the essence, that would count as like a negative thing, I think. Yeah, I would assume so. So then you reply, when this happens for the first time, take a tracking card and note the status on it. Follow the stacking rules. Every time you get the status, you'll check another box to the right. This status is counted against a limit, sunset 6. When this limit is reached, something dramatic happens. In this case, the sun will have set and may be too late for Garen to help his mother, so watch this tracker. Yeah. Yeah, I guess we... Do we take that now? I guess so. So we have time passes 1. The language is a little ambiguous if we do take that or if it's just introducing it, but I assume they're introducing it because we take it. So we're going to get under threats down here. We're going to have time passes. Sunset is 6. And we have a... time passes 1. We have that. That is not good for us. It's in fact very bad. We do want to get... we have to find the flower and get it back for Mummy Dearest, where she croaks. But this is a good spot, I think, so we'll come back. I feel like we're probably about halfway through, which is good. I think we're on time. There's 54 pages in here, and we're on page 35, so I think we're doing pretty well on time. So I'm going to take a short break on my coffee. You guys hang out, and back in a second. All right? All right, I've returned. Gonna jump back in and do it. So, what waits for Garen and Edra? Is that her name? Erna. So what awaits us? You know what? I'm gonna write down Erna. She's more than just a peddler. Erna, peddler. There we go. And I think this calls for maybe a little bit different, because it seems like we're headed deep for. Let's listen to this. Good. All right, I dig it. I think that works. All right. Ah. Okay. All right. So, in his haste, Garen leads them into the untrodden parts of the woods, to the shadowed places where no hunter dares. Yeah. I think I got the right track for this. Yeah. Spooky. In the deep mist where the mist never leaves. Perhaps we will find. Wait for it. The Legend in the Mist. Ah, the title drop. There we go. We got it. All right. Under an ill wind, they spot a haunch stranger wandering in the woods. You there, well met. Oh, well met, dear stalker. You are far from your hunting grounds. What brings you this far up the mountain? We're here in search of a remedy. Perhaps you can help us? I'd be delighted to help. We can trade the flower you seek for something of yours. I never said I saw the flower. Who are you? What are you hiding? Show yourself! No need. And we throw it off, and we've got this green man, satyr, fawn kind of looking thing. Stranger casts off its cloak, revealing a monstrous, unearthly creature that instantly towers over Garen. What are you? I am but a humble wanderer between the trees, a king under the stars, and I can help you find what you seek. For price. What do you do? I come to rue what you wished for. I must discover more about this creature. So, not really a choice, I guess? Is it lying to me? What is this thing? How does it know about the flower? Was it the fiend that poisoned Mother? I must discover more about this creature. Discovery actions. Okay, so we're getting a new thing. Your hero can take action to glean new information. As always, the narrator can tell you what to find out. Simple, ask for a roll and provide you information if you succeed. Quick, or ask you to roll and spend 1 power for each answer or valuable detail. Let's use the detailed way. Who could help here? Keen sense is good listener? Yeah. The wandering peddler may have heard rumors about this creature. What could hinder headache? Don't got that anymore. This creature is acting mysterious 1, making it hard to identify. Remember, only the worst of these statuses applies. Oh, so we only ever take 1 negative? Interesting. Okay. I think I misinterpreted that. Okay. I like this. So, we've got 3 in our back, but we do lose 1 from mysterious. But luckily we don't have headache, so we get a +2 to the roll. We really want that 10 plus. So let's see. I must discover more about this. All right, roll 2 dice and add our power, which is 2. Let's roll them. Oh! All right. Luckily, we didn't get a 6. So, with our +2, that's going to be a 7. Rolled low. So we apply both. If your action succeeds, spends up to 3 power and read 1 paragraph for each. What is this creature? You believe this to be one of the creatures of Twilight, treacherous monsters that prey on travelers. Stray too far from the trail. It is not to be trusted. Okay. What does it want? It truly wants to make a trade, but you're wary of what it might cost you. You sense it wants something much more than mere earthly possession. Does it have weaknesses? The creature is far too big and monstrous to fight head on, and there's no telling what foul sorcery it can conjure. But it seems to have a penchant for trades. Maybe you can outsmart it. Okay, so we got keen senses, right? Creature's words pierce your heart. Does it have the cure? You begin to... Oh, that's not good for us. All I ask for is a memory, something you hold dear. In return, I will help you obtain the cure you... Now, the problem is, the memory it might take might be of our home. Or our mother in general, and we don't know why we're doing this thing. So that is not good. They're not saying what memory. Take tempted 4. You may roll to lessen the consequences now as a reaction, as is explained on page 28. I can look at 28 real quick, because I don't think we add. Do we add anything to that roll? I think so, right? What could help? Tough it out. We have anything? We're gonna take tempted 4. Not good. That's really bad. Really gonna fail rolls with 4. We can't get anything. Something that might help us. Untapped fierceness. No. I would say that keen senses helps us here. I think so. Interesting that we didn't use family as my soft spot. So we only get a +1. But, because I think that's the only thing that makes sense. Roll. 7, 8. Okay, so we get to remove 1. So this will be... But tempt. So we reduce it by 1. Go down to tempted 3. Still not good, though. That's still really, really bad. Alright. Well, let's, talk to our strange fey creature. So resisting the temptation. Oh, it tells us what could help. Oh, well then our roll's going to be way different then. I don't think we have hopeful. I don't even know where we pick up. So we rolled, what did we roll? Rolled 7. We have 8, 9, 10, 11. And family is my soft spot would hinder us, but we don't have the headache, which is good. Hopeful. I think hopeful, I'm assuming we get hopeful from if we had a good conversation. And okay. But that means we got a 10. 10 means we get to strike 2. So that takes us down to tempted 2. This is more manageable. Still not great, but more manageable. If tempted ever reaches or exceeds tier 5, you are compelled to accept the creature's offer. Go to page 43, otherwise continue to the next page. Burning tags for power. You may choose to scratch a helpful tag to gain more power in an action, burning it to gain 3 power instead of 1 power. However, you won't be able to use it again until you recover it, so burning tags should be used only as a last resort. You can only burn 1 tag per action. Okay. So, like, we could have scratched the tonic to get a +3 if we were trying to get rid of our headache. As the baffled deer stalker hesitates, the creature presses its proposal. What say you, young one? If you but grant me the cure. Oh. What do you do? Accept the trade. The trade is bad. Maybe we try to offer a different trade, right? He said we could. Because we got our successes good enough, well enough with our power. We know that it's open trade, so maybe we can, try to razzle dazzle a little bit. So let's go to 45 and offer a different trade. I offer a different trade. Quick outcome. Maybe we could interest its creatureness with another form of payment. Something of personal value? Oh. So our peddler is gonna... Yeah, why is our peddler not handling it? Our peddler is the person who should be doing this. For this action, you will need something the creature wants, the father's Yubo, or the peddler's pretty opal. Scratch that tag, and it grants 3 power instead of 1. If you don't have these, you may ask the peddler to search her inventory again for the opal. Take the action on page 33 and then return here. Okay, so we're going to go do that because we didn't do that. But now we know that that could be useful to us. She is the one who's bringing it up, so that's good. All right, page 33, 33. Go, go, go. All right. Orna finds a useful item. All right, so what could help? Peddler, bag of curiosities, resourcefulness. 3. We got all 3 of those. We get +3 to this. All we got to do is roll a 7. So the odds are in our favor. We have a better than 50% shot to be able to do it. We like that. We like that a lot. Now, there's bad rolls. That'd be one of the bad rolls. So 5 plus 3 gets us 8. Which will applies both outcomes. So we find you only have enough power to add 1 tag of your choice. Climbing pick or pretty opal. I think pretty opal. That's obviously the one we're going to go for. So we're getting pretty opal. Erna makes a mess of her bag. She won't be able to find anything useful in it until she organizes it better. Scratch out bag of curiosities. Ooh. Oh. Alright. Well. So, Bag of Curiosities is gone. But we are going to pick up Pretty Opal, which we'll be able to burn or scratch. Yeah, it's interesting they use the term burn it when really you're scratching it out. So instead of just being like you can choose to mark it or something. Interesting to use the nomenclature. All right. So we have done that. We offer a different trade. All right, you must burn for power because I think the U-boat will probably be useful for us. You know, if we have it literally any danger, which we're in the deep forest, so those bandits are still out there somewhere. So we're gonna burn the Pretty Opal. Gives us a +3 to the roll. But the narrator lets us know the creature is coming. We only get a +2. Ooh. And time passes 1 is the consequence. Oof, that's not good. Really don't want that. All right, so we're going to strike the opal. It is the stricken, which gives us a +3. But because the creature is cunning, we only get a +2. All right. We really want to need her better. We don't get it. But we do succeed, which is the important part. So, we do succeed. Which means we'll get both. The creature accepts the deal with a deep nod. How intriguing. That is an item of some interest. Very well. You'll have your cure, and I'll have this memento. But time passes 1. The creature lengthily deliberates and considers the offer, but eventually accepts it. Alright, so 46. So, I need to mark down time passes. Time passes 1 and 2. Alright, well, hopefully we'll get what we need, and hopefully he's not swindling us. That would be ideal. So hopefully he's not swindling us, and we can pick it out of there real quick. Okay, so we don't take the 6 or less. We take the time passes is the thing that happens. So they accept the offer, but consequences, time passes. Got it. All right. Continue to page 41. 41. Okay. When did you say 41? I think we're supposed to do 46. Oh, I'm reading the wrong thing. That's why. It's only if we fail do we go to 41. Okay, 46. Our next one. Now hold your end of the bargain. Where is the brine thistle? Do not have the herb, but I will show you the path to it. For I have its pollen, and it knows the way. Quickly, you must follow it. Tosses it out, and we receive enchanted pollen. So we'll add that to our backpack. Okay, perfect. Before I leave, tell me true. Are you the one who poisoned my mother? No, young master, I was not. Very well. Farewell. I hope our paths never cross again. Kind of rude, but all right. She took that risk herself for you, for the mountain folk. And you and I may meet again before the end of your tale. Choices matter. The choices you make as your hero during the game transform who they are by changing your themes. Abandon a part of you. When you take a course of action that goes against one of your quests, you mark abandon on the theme. When you mark your third abandon on the theme, you replace it with a different one. This is one where I talked about at the beginning, where it's like, and you remove these cards and change them out. You replace it with a different one representing a new direction for you. Exceed a part of you. When you accomplish a significant step on your path to one of your quests, you mark a milestone on that theme. When you mark your third milestone on a theme, you replace it with another representing an evolution of the current theme. In both cases, you also gain promise, which is explained later on in the book. Only you decide when to mark abandon or milestone for your hero. Think of the following and choose if they apply to your journey as Garen so far. Devoted to my family. Find a cure for mother's illness. Do you feel that you dally too much in your search? No, I didn't. I think we tried to do things as quickly as we could. Really, the only thing I dallied on was sneaking up on the peddler stack. Otherwise, we've been pretty much just straightforward. In fact, we're taking a shortcut. And that's the entire reason we met this stupid creature. And maybe maybe the discussion with this strange creature, which drug on for a while, maybe that dallied. But we already took a consequence for that, so I don't think I would double dip for consequences on that. Did you forgo the help of the creature? Nope. The creature's help. Did you secure the creature's help thanks to your sacrifice or efforts? Mark a milestone. Okay, so yes. So family, and so we're here. Milestone 1. Got it. Nice. Excellent. Spirited youth never surrender to darkness or despair. Did you wound the bandits? Was it out of a dark place? We did wound the bandits, yes. Was it out of a dark place? No, we actually tried to get them to run away first. Warning shot. And tried to hobble them first. So we did wound the bandits, but it wasn't from a dark place. I think we only did it after they took a swing on us. Did you sacrifice a part of yourself? Was that surrendering to despair? No, we did not give the memory up. Did you resist the creature's spell or dark trade? I guess technically we didn't. I think we can strike that, by the way. I think we can strike the temptation. Yeah, another scene ends. The tempted status expires. We're going to remove that. The tempted is gone. About to say, we need to strike that. I don't think it makes sense because we already made the trade. All right. The deer stalker and the peddler rush up the mountain. We're here, the north slope, above the tree line, just as the wise one said. It's too steep. Go ahead, I'll wait for you here. Oh no, Garen, the fog is coming in. Find it. Find it now. Yeah, because in the fog, we're not going to be able to find it. What do? We search for the rhyme thistle. Perfect. I search for the rhyme thistle. Quick outcome. Power, what could help? Keen senses, devoted family, climbing pick. We don't have that. And we're not going to get it back because Erna has not undisheveled. So if it's disheveled, so she hasn't shoveled her bag. She hasn't organized it again, so we can't even try to get it. Remember, you can burn a tag for power. So I think we just have 3. We could burn the enchanted pollen. That's actually Really good. Ooh, mountainside is foggy 4. Ooh, that's really bad. Okay, so we're definitely gonna need to burn the enchanted pollen. That would give us 3, 4, 5. That would give us 5 minus 4, so we plus 1. Oh, we only have a plus 1. Oh man, that's not good. Really can't burn anything else though, because dang, totally burn the climbing pick if we had it, but we don't got it. All right, so we scour our way up the mountain side, and we get a plus 1 to our roll, and we hope we roll high. Got 5. We've also burned the enchanted pollen. So it's gone. Technically not gone, like, technically you can get them unburned, but yeah. 6 or less, you search and search for what seems like an eternity, but without success. You take time passes 1. You cannot lessen this consequence. Then repeat this action as you're searching. You reach time passes 6, go back to... Oh, okay. All right. We're in real dire straits now. Because we just burned our best thing. So we're up to time passes 3. And we got to roll again. And this time, we don't have the plus. So we get keen senses, devoted to family, but foggy 4 still, so it's minus 2. That means 2 succeed, by the way. 2 succeed, we have to roll boxcars. We have to naturally roll a 12. And either we're going to do that, or we're not. And we got 3 chances to do it. That's not going to be good. Oh, we can find the Rhine Thistle. Okay, alright, never mind. Okay, so minus 2. So we only need to roll a 9 or better. That is much more better. But we will take time passes 1, which is not good. But hey, if we get it, we get it. Alright, here we go. Alright, well we got minus 2, so we didn't quite get the 10. But we got a 9, which means we find the Rhine Thistle. But time passes 1. So we are running out of time. As time passes, it's up to 4. That's not good. So it's just a full-on, pretty much dead sprint at this point to get back. Erna, I found it. Let's go. We rush back home. We see the wise one. They make their little healing draft. Garen. Yep, oh gosh. Yeah, we're gonna skip page 51. That's what happens if time passes, which we can take a look at, which is him screaming and crying on the mountainside. Rushing home, but day has clearly gone. And unfortunately, we don't make it home in time. And there's our mother, buried. Ooh, luckily, we got there in time. Garen's story is only just beginning. Let's see how he emerges from this dramatic first chapter. Mark abandoned in milestones, devoted to my family, find a cure for my mother's illness. Does Garen feel he failed his family? No. Is Garen planning to leave home following this event for whatever reason? I don't think so. Did Garen save his mother? Yes. Mark a milestone, or even 3, as the quest was accomplished. So we would mark all 3. I'll find here from them. So we hit milestone 3. Quest complete. Nice. We got him. All right. Here we go. Spirited youth. Never surrendered to darkness or despair. If Garen lost his mother, does he succumb? He didn't lose his mother. Replace your themes. If you reach 3 abandoned or 3 milestones on either theme, here is how Garen can grow. If Garen abandons his devotion to family, he becomes vagabond. He evolves his devotion to family, which perhaps he becomes a border ranger. Okay, so I go with border ranger. I've completed that quest. It would evolve. So border ranger would give. So we had good listener and tough it out. I think both of those are kind of make sense. Family is my soft spot. And I'd say maybe I'd change to like home is my soft spot. People. We could also give him something else for like a for ranger. It'd be like woodcraft or something like that. Maybe he knows a bunch of stuff. If Garen abandons his spirited youth, perhaps he becomes an embittered bandit. If Garen evolves his spirited youth, I don't think we haven't done anything to evolve. Themes grow from their weakness. You can gain new permanent tags in your themes, and therefore new skills, abilities, and allies whenever one of your weakness tags is invoked. Mark improve on that theme, and when you have 3 improve, reset the track and gain a new improvement for that theme. In your next game, remember to invoke your weakness tags. Yeah, because we didn't do that any really in here, did we? Oh no, we did. We did. We invoked the weaknesses on the conversation, though. This is really the only one we had. New allies and treasures. Garen has gained some tags that could remain in play going forward. He made a new friend in Erna the Peddler, and may hold on to some of the useful gifts she shared with him. Don't have any of those. Loose threads. What happened to the bandits? Where did they come from? What about the creature? What other creatures are prowling the mountains and beyond? What deal did Garen's mother make with the creature, and why? All of these questions can become the beginning of a new adventure the next time you play. Did you try? During your time with Garen, you could have taken many paths. You might be wondering what else could have happened. Feel a pang of remorse, but found a way to make it work in your favor? Page 21. Get clobbered by a bandit and learned how to lessen the blow? Yep, definitely did that. Have a conversation with the peddler? We did. We didn't gain hopeful. Ask her for something useful and learn how to create a story tag with the outcome. Yep, well, I guess we got the... Yeah, we eventually did get the opal. Strengthen your resolve against temptation and learn how to burn a tag for power. Well, we definitely did that. The story doesn't end here. Ready to delve deeper, the Legend in the Mist core book is now available. Defend the dales, face strange creatures skulking in the mist, explore ancient shrines and forgotten paths. Play solo or in a group, create your own characters and adventures for Legend in the Mist, or use it with your... So it's very easy to see, like, having multiple people in a fight definitely makes fights. Number one, I think go faster. Also lessens how many bad things happen to you. And you can, while you take care of the creatures, you can kind of like spread out some of those abilities. I'm trying to think, because obviously we didn't need to roll like an initiative thing in here, and I can't remember, so I'm looking at this guy. I think the first scene in here ends up being a combat. Or a potential combat anyway. That's character sheets. Tag things. Because you have 3 characters. Eventually reveal the Awakened Century challenge. Feel the hunt down anyone. Common ways to overcome the century right by its limits, but you can come up with new. It might. Yeah, it actually just doesn't say anything about initiative. Interesting. Okay. So I guess the idea is that because I wanted to know if there was like a way to be like whose turn is it? Now obviously the way that systems like this are, the monsters don't really have a turn, so initiative's not quite the same as like it is in something like D&D, because the players are always the ones who drive the action, and their characters are, and so when their characters fail at doing stuff, that's when they get their consequence. Rather than the monsters have a turn in which they do a thing. So, but I would still think it might be useful to have like, oh, you just go around the table and everybody has an opportunity to do it. But I guess technically one person could just fight, the other two just watch if you wanted to. And I think that that's also a little bit useful about Legend in the Mist in general, is that if that's the case, that means you can make characters who really don't have any combat abilities and probably muddle through all right, since it doesn't seem like they would have a turn in combat where they're kind of forced to do some sort of action, and the monsters don't have a turn in combat in which they can act upon them, which is very similar with my experience with Dungeon World, honestly, is there are points in Dungeon World, as you kind of see as we were going through this game, you spend your time most of the time rolling in that 7 through 9 area where you get consequences, and also uh, where you take on consequences while you succeed at things. And I know one of the things that I struggled with playing Dungeon World is that I always felt like I only ever wanted to do the things that I were really, really good at, because the consequences would outweigh whatever the potential benefit would be, because I have to continue with the consequences going on. They stick around a lot longer than the successes, the victories you get. Because I mean, you kill the monster's gone, but you take wounds and lose hit points and stuff like that, and those are much harder to get back, or you lose resources and stuff like that. So I think this was really cool. I wish this. I'll be really honest. This I think is what they put out for Free RPG Day again today, which is the same thing they had put out. I think is when I picked this up. Yeah. Um, I think I would have liked this comic better. Number one, I don't have to have 3 other people with me, which I mean, it's a TTRPG, but this, like it says right here in the back, play solo or in a group. I think this works really well as a solo kind of game. I like that. So, what are my overall kind of feelings about it? Let's talk about some good, some bad, and some indifference. So, things that are good. I like the aspects kind of system. I like it in Fate, and I like it here. I do like it where you're not being like, oh, but are you wrong enough? Do you have a +3 strength? Like, that stuff's not. It helps kind of break the mold when you're thinking about what you can do. The downside of that is that it's real loosey goosey. I feel like you spend all your time kind of looking at your character sheet, being like, okay, what are the things that I can tap for this role? The thing that I'm doing. Or you're in a situation where you're like, I don't really have any tags that work for this situation, which means that I kind of don't want to roll, because I'm more likely to get a really bad outcome if I don't have any of those power tags that I can drop into it. Which really changes thing. Like, how would that fight have gone? Our fight with the bandit in the very beginning. How would that have that the entire scene would have come out incredibly differently if, say, we were the character playing maybe Erna instead, coming across that situation. Erna doesn't appear to have like any weapons or be proficient in any sort of like fighting. Certainly doesn't have a bow. So you'd be like, probably wouldn't actually get engaged in that, because you're just kind of opening yourself up to a lot of danger and no way to resolve that. I mean, maybe if you're really good at talking, and you could be like, I could maybe get them to turn around and stop and stop trying to shake these people down. But yeah, otherwise not really. So I like the tag system, but it is really loosey goosey. It is messy. It these little things like these are cool. They're the like threats and stuff, tracking cards. Like these are neat, but yeah, it seems like you blow through that stuff pretty quickly. So overall, I like it. I think it works a lot better. I would think it would work a lot better as a solo game, maybe. Like I would be interested in perhaps playing it more as a solo game than as a group game. Especially to run, because like I said earlier, I am the sort of game master who I like to roll dice. So I don't actually super love systems that don't let me roll dice. And so I just kind of feel like I'm kind of sitting around while everybody else plays the game sometimes. And I don't love that. I also want to play the game. I wonder how difficult it is to come up with threats, honestly. Because I'm thinking like the bandits, stuff like that. Like how do you know to how many like statuses to give them? Like they were wounded for, right? So how do I know to give them or I think in this thing, character in the front that's a bad guy, thaumaturge, whose limits are like 6. And like, okay, so that seems like a really tough fight. And they have 5 skulls. They use like a skull system, I guess. For like assessing threats. But I also really like using the threat, like the time system, having that be the threat. Like that's really cool. That really raises the stakes a whole lot. That's something that's very very cool, and it's very similar to like, clocks, like Blades in the Dark or something like that. Like that works very similar. But I like that. It gives you a way to provide consequences that aren't like hit points, because there aren't any hit points in the game, which is cool. It also makes it like this adventure of that's in the demo game, the barley one, is really interesting. Like it really is a shadow in the barley. Like it is a really cool adventure. I really like the adventure a lot. Especially like there is an entire thing where they basically kind of call it like a town meeting, and you have to like convince a whole bunch of the townsfolk to do stuff. And having a system like that with where the threat can just be the townspeople, just like it was the bandits, and it can be as big or small a group as I need it to be. And if you decide to attack those people, then we go through combat, but you can also try to convince them, you can try to intimidate them, you kind of play to your strengths, do that sort of stuff. So I'm sure that there's more guidelines about like how to make a well-rounded character in the book, in like the full fleshed out book. I'd be interested in seeing that. Is it something that is going to replace something like D&D for me? Nah, not really. Not really. But I would be down to play it. Like certainly do like a one shot or an adventure in it or something like that. I like the setting a whole lot. Because this one also takes place like in mountainside forest kind of thing. So it's very much got that vibe to it. But like the temptation, there's a temptation in here. Being tempted by the creature, that's very cool. It is also very interesting to be like, oh well, you definitely can't fight this creature. Well, I mean, I could try. I think I could try, but yeah, it seems like it probably would. But yeah, no, this was fun. I'm glad we did this. This was cool. I like this. I really like this as a way to as a way to kind of teach the rules too. I feel like this I read through and I felt like I was so thoroughly confused uh, by the rules. Like I really couldn't grasp exactly how all the pieces worked, moved in tandem to like make the game work. But this little solo comic does a really great job of that. Like, oh, I get the game. I get the game now. Like, it's very funny. Like, I totally do not remember the like kind of like recovery save to help you try to not take all the consequences up front of like the tempted for and stuff like that, where you get this opportunity to kind of blunt the thing that's going to be hurting you in your ability to succeed. I like that. I think I wish that the resolution was a little bit cleaner. Like I wish you could do that kind of up front. Because then it's like, oh, you fail a roll, and then immediately you have to roll again to see if you suffer all the consequences or not. It seems like if that's the case, maybe the game should just have lessened the amount of consequences up front. But maybe that's just a me thing. I don't know. I'd have to play it more, and maybe have to like run it for people to really get a better feeling for why it's structured that way. Yeah, I mean, it's a very cool game. I like it. I like the art style of it. I know I said that last year when I got the thing, but the art's really great. I really love the style of the art. And it's really cool. I like that both of these, this and the solo one, show people of all ages, which is really nice. That's not often a thing that you see in a lot of TTRPG supplements. Everybody's just kind of like late 20s to like mid 30s, maybe a teenager sometimes, late teenager sometimes. But it's just kind of like mostly filled with those kind of people. So it's really interesting to have like as playable characters be like, and this is a kid, and this is, you know, an older person. It's really cool to see those and be like, oh, and the way that things are set up, that okay, how you use the tags makes them a viable way to play. Like Garen's youthful vigor aspect, and that's actually an important thing to him. His what is it, spirited youth is really important and really useful. But also each one kind of comes with their own detriment, right? We could use the hard-headed thing. And Loner came up as the deer stalker. But yeah, no, this was a lot of fun. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Again, if you want to grab this, you can go get it from DriveThruRPG. You can get either this or this guy if you have a group you want to play with, and you can go grab either of them through DriveThruRPG, or I think you can get it directly through Son of Oak publisher, Son of Oak, right from their website. But I think you have to sign up for their email list. Do that. Either way, but it's fun. Give it a try. See how you feel about it. I'm not a huge fan of 2D systems, but this one was all right. I don't know if I would. I would be interested to see like how the theme cards look in a long-term playthrough, and see those actually change and continue and move. So it seems like each theme card is supposed to have a quest associated. Different though, I do think. I remember when I stumbled across that they had the solo thing, the people had said that this was an outdated version of things, so the game probably doesn't play quite like that anymore. It might have been before the full game was out. It's like even these are the trait cards, and they are way different. And they do not have like a quest on them. But So I don't know. So it sounds like the game has been iterated on some. I think this comic maybe came out before the full game was out because the game's not very old. Yeah, it just came out last year. So I think this might be from like the a prototype, like early version of it. Get people excited for it. I think let's go down here. Actually, maybe it'll tell us in here. Maybe oh, go all the way down. Oh, the Legend of the Mist core book. Okay, so this is actually I was wrong. This appears to have been made later, and this was made prior to the game coming out. And if you're wondering, Legend of the Mist. So this is also the same people who do City of Mist. And City of Mist is kind of like a crime fighter, vigilante, superhero kind of game. If you're interested in doing that, where you have like a double life and things like that. So if you're interested in the game, I've always heard very good things about it, and it works just like this. It's the same system. You have like the tags, and it works like that. No, it's not gonna give me. Doesn't give me like a date on it or anything. That's okay. Well, that's everything we had for this one, and it ended up being just about the right length, so we always love that. We do have a few minutes left, so I guess I could tell you about the things I did get at Free RPG Day. Like I said, I think next week, so we probably take another week off with solo RPG, but maybe next Saturday, or you know what, I might take the Saturday off. I haven't had a Saturday off a bit, so I might take. Well, I lie. We had stream issues. It just doesn't feel like a day off. But I'll give it like a thorough review once I get through some of the stuff. But that actually might take a couple. But I can show you what I got thus far. So, we got the 20th anniversary mini pencils. These are fun because they're also a D6. I know you can't see them, but you can roll the pencils on the side and they tell you. And they function as a D6. I got the War Master's deck. So I wanted to pick this up. This is a companion from the same people who made this guy, which is what I looked at last year. Deck of Worlds that lets you make places. This is the Lore Master's deck. So this is all the story engine. The ultimate tool for homebrewed game masters. Create new factions, APCs, unique items, locations, monsters, and more with just a draw of 2 cards. So I'll be checking those out. I still got the shrink wrap on it. I picked up these. I bought these. These weren't free by any means. This is the Genesis roleplay dice. I showed it up a little bit earlier. They're funky dice. They're used for the thing I know it for primarily is for Star Wars. Creature Curation Presents. So this is the one we looked at that has like 3 different adventures for like 3 different games in it, which are Vast Grim, Raptor Ruckus, and Neon Bastard. I'll be interested. My partner decided to get this one. I just have this back. It is Dungeons and Kitten special. It's got very cute art. So that'll be fun. I'll see if there's anything interesting. Got Jason Bison Nordic Horror. Pick this up. I always love the art. That style they use is really fun. Plague Bearer. Picked it up. We'll see if there's anything cool in it. I like the art in it. 50. Thumb through. I like this little sidebar they've got over here. A guy dealing with zombies. Different things. I picked up the level 1 thing. I always get this here. I don't know what's in this one. Fun. Stand Up. I got In Ruins. This is a thing that I purchased. It is a dungeon building game. Play by yourself or with friends. Check that out later. Other thing I bought. Dark Tides. A swashbuckling wave crawl solo micro RPG. Grab some dice, prepare to set sail on the high seas. You can also use this zine as a random generator for maritime campaigns. 2022. I'm interested to check that out. Got this one. No Place Like Homebrew. This was one that I was probably the most excited about how to use it. I believe this is by the like One Shot Wonders, I think. Maybe I am mis. All bets are off. I decided I wanted to take a look at that. We got from here to there the other big thing that I was really excited to get. And very cool. The art in it's very kind of like old school D&D. Very neat. Little hex crawl kind of thing. Nice little map. Wizard Riders. Looking at the character sheet that's on the back, and it's very neat. It's very inspired with gears and stuff on it. Chains. And Dolmenwood. The Weaver and the Red Caps. Adventure for Dolmenwood. I did get it. They're buried. I picked up a Home, a 2-player haunted house kind of game. Very interested. I think it's going to play a little bit like Trail House on the Hill. I got one of the routes. Now, there were only 2 of these left in totality. And like I said, they had a bunch of these stuff. They bought a lot of kits, and they only had 2 of these left. So this was obviously a fan favorite. People really wanted it. So I check it out. I believe I've checked out Route before, but I'm gonna take another look at it. But I think that's gonna be everything for the stream, guys. Thanks for hanging out with me, and we'll do this again soon. Hope you guys have a great rest of your weekend, or if not the weekend when you're watching this later, you're having a good day. Like this video if you like this stuff. If you want to see more of this kind of stuff, do a lot of solo stuff and RPG content in general. Grab over there. Other stuff's down in the description. You guys know how to do this stuff. Leave me a comment if you don't mind. That helps with it, which helps show this off to other people, so other people can start to learn legend in the mist and see if it's for them. All right, that's it. You guys get out of here, and I'll see you soon. All right, bye.